For this XSO's film room video breakdown, we want to take a look at a play out of the Singleback Ace that's called tight end cross. And now this particular play, as you know, it has the two tight ends running crossing routes. And over the years, crossing routes used to be really effective in the game, although over the last couple of years, they're not quite as effective. I still want to go ahead and show this play because if you do have two fast tight ends, you can have some success with it. So let's go ahead and take a look at the default pass routes as you look at them from left to right. And we'll start over here with the split end. And the split end, he's going to go ahead and run a go route down the left sideline into that area there. And as we work our way to the inside, we're going to go ahead and call him the tight end 2. Some of you might want to call him the left tight end. And he's going to go ahead and run a crossing route from left to right into this area. And then the tight end 1, now he's going to be lined up over here, and he's going to go ahead and run also a crossing route from, rather than left and right, but he runs this one from right to left into this area. And then to the outside of him, it's going to be the flanker, and he's going to go ahead and run a post route. And so he goes up about 10 yards, and he breaks towards the post. And then the halfback or the running back, he's going to stay in the pass block. In this case, we're going to have him block towards the right as you look at your screen. Now, as far as the defense that we're going to run this one against, we're going to go ahead and run this against two-man under. And you can see right there that the two cornerbacks, they're in press coverage. And there's the right cornerback and then the left cornerback. As I said before, they're both in press coverage. Now, what we're going to do as far as with the hot route adjustments here is just a couple of them that we're going to make. We're going to go ahead and hot route the flanker on his streak. As you can see right there, we're hot routing him on his streak. And then we're also going to hot route the running back on his swing route out towards the right. And then this is what the play looks like once we make those adjustments. Now, what I want to do here is kind of go through why we make these two hot route adjustments. So let's go ahead and talk about the first hot route, which happens to be in this case is going to wind up being the flanker who's going to go ahead and run this streak route. And the reason that we want to hot route him on his streak is for this reason here. The idea of this is to go ahead and force this guy, in this case is going to be the strong safety, to drop back into this area. We want to go ahead and clear out some room as this receiver right here, which again is the tight end. He's going to come across, as I talked about earlier, the tight end 2. He's going to come across on that crossing route. What we're trying to do is to try to get that strong safety to go ahead and cover the flanker and drop him further back in this area here. Now, you could have that flanker run the post route and kind of get the same results, but the difference is the flanker would be running to this area here, and therefore the strong safety may end up being this area here. So the idea of this is by him running the streak, it's going to go ahead and get him to drop further away from where that tight end 2 is running his crossing route. And it's the same way over here if you really think about it. If we have this guy, which is the split end, he's already running this go route or streak route down the left sideline, then the tight end 1 who's coming across is doing the same thing. He's going to go ahead and come across, and in this case it's going to be the free safety who's going to go ahead and drop back to go ahead and cover the split end back in this area here. So that's the reason that we go ahead and hot route the flanker on a streak, is that we want to force the strong safety back as far as we can against two-man under coverage, and that's the reason for that. As far as with the running back, the reason that we want to go ahead and hot route him on a swing route out towards the right. Now, some of you may not want to do this, but the reason that we're doing is to give ourselves a check down receiver. For example, say our opponent was to go ahead and call some type of blitz. Maybe they got these linebackers coming in on a blitz, and we feel that we don't have enough time to make the throw to one of those two tight ends. And then as the quarterback, as we drop back, and then we'll always have this option out here just to go ahead and throw the swing route towards the running back out here over the right and hopefully pick up a couple yards and beat the blitz. Now, one other thing I want to point out, speaking of the blitz, if our opponent does blitz, and what winds up happening here is these two outside receivers, remember we talked about them both running streak routes down the sidelines here. If, for example, these two corners were to go ahead and jam him at the line of scrimmage, so say this right cornerback jams him, and then the split end is able to get off pretty quick, and he's able to get up in this area here, and then what we would do is, rather than making our read to throw to the tight end, we may very well just go ahead and throw the ball out here towards this split end if he has a step or two on that right cornerback. So I want to point that out to you. Now let's go ahead and take a look at something else I want to point out here, and that's the reads with this particular play. I've kind of already talked a little bit about why we did as far as the adjustments and what I would do as far as my reads. However, if they come out and just say two-man under defense, nothing else is going on, no blitz and none of that other stuff, then these would be my reads as far as who I look to throw to. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and look to throw to the tight end 1 as he comes across on his crossing route over here towards the left over here as you look at your screen. And then I'll look to throw to this tight end 2 as he comes across on his crossing route over here towards the right. And then the swing route that's ran by the running back would be my third read, and then I'd work my way to the deeper receivers here and here. So that would be my reads as far as against the two-man under defense. Some of you guys may have some different ways of doing that. For me, this is just the way I would go as far as with my reads would go against two-man under. So what I want to do here is I want to go ahead and run this play, and I want you guys to go ahead and concentrate on this receiver as far as with this particular play and who I'm going to look to throw to. In this case, it's going to be this guy right here, which is going to be the tight end 2 as he comes across on that crossing route. So I want you guys to go ahead and focus in on him as we run this play, and then we'll talk about a little bit more as we go through it. You can see right there he gets a little bit of separation. We make that throw. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit here because I want to show something else here with this play, and I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. As you look at it, one of the things about this particular play that makes it effective is these two receivers come across, the tight ends. Here comes the tight end 2 coming across on his crossing route, and then you have this guy right here, which is the tight end 1 running his crossing route. As you look at your screen right there, you can see that these guys are going to cross each other somewhere in this middle of the field in this area here. Now what you're looking for is for them to go ahead and create some type of rub action on these two defenders that are covering them. And hopefully what will happen is it'll allow them to get some type of separation once they cross each other where you can make that throw, such as what I'm trying to show here as they come across right there. If they get some type of separation, then as the quarterback, you can go ahead and make that throw into this area here and go ahead and complete it for a nice gain, such as what I'm showing here on your screen there. So that's the idea of this one as far as with this play, as far as the way I like to run it against two-man under, any type of man coverage for that matter. That's who I usually look to throw to. As I said before, if they blitz, then maybe I go ahead and look to throw one of those outside receivers. Maybe I'll look to go ahead and throw to the running back on the swing route. But for the most part, I'm looking to throw to one of those two tight ends against man coverage. So the name of this play is called Singleback Ace Tight End Cross.